everybody. It's my boy Will.
It's your boy Josh.
And welcome to ETTO's Catch Up, the only show where I'm still listening to my own voice coming through, so I'm going to stop that from happening so I don't get wigged out. And the only show that celebrates its 50th birthday on its 78th. Technically.
Amazing.
Welcome, everybody, to ETTO's Catch Up, being recorded live on the internet. We don't have to worry about anything
used to do these
this week, because if anything goes wrong, they'll let us know, and that's great. Nice.
That's right. Absolutely.
Is getting wigged out just Will wearing different wigs? Joshy starting the cues from YOUSE early. No.
Amazing.
Will wearing different wigs, maybe sometime in the future. Welcome to the 50th catch-up of this version of the catch-up, a show where we usually talk about news, talk about cues, talk about recs. We're going to do 2/3 of that thing, because this week is a big cues bonanza. But before we get into the cues bonanza, how are you feeling, Josh? How's your catch-up?
Oh, it's good. It's been a big week.
Yeah.
As some people may have known, some people also may not have known. Finally released Tiny Troopers Global Ops this week. So it's out there. It's in the wild.
Exciting.
Some technical difficulties this week. We're still trying to wrap our heads around them. I had a day off today, so I did not work on it. So did the other programmer. He didn't work on it either.
Amazing.
The game's been live for 3-4 days, and most of that has not had anyone working on it, but that's fine. But yeah, it's exciting. It's finally out. It's very, very good.
Nice.
And since the last time we did a podcast, between the Saturday that we recorded it last week and Monday today, I've gone to 2 shows. Very, very good.
Went to Harry's house.
I forget if I...
the literal Harry's house. You know, it's past. It's past time.
It has. I can't remember if I mentioned it on last stream, but I saw Bon YOUSE. Most people would probably know him as Bon Iver. A lot of people say it that way. And would know the song Skinny Love. Come on, Skinny Love, just last a year. That's pretty much the one that everyone knows. That is not his only song. It is not his best song. He has so many fantastic songs, and the show was so phenomenal. I don't think I will ever miss a Bon YOUSE show ever again. If I can help it.
This is 3 years in the waiting for you. Just under 2. It is under 3, but yeah.
Yeah, and then yesterday, I saw a band called Mum Jeans.
There it is.
Which was so freaking good. It was really, really fun. I was off to the side. The venue has 2 stages. And I stood on one of the other stages.
Amazing.
So that I could see everyone. I could see the band. But I think it was not the ideal location from an audio point of view. So it was a little bit muffled, so I don't know whether it was a bad mix. Or whether I was just not standing in an ideal location because I was not in the crowd. I was kind of off to the side.
You're someone in the crowd.
That's right. That's right. Someone in the crowd. For someone who knows all of the songs, it was great because even though I couldn't hear everything, in my head I could hear like the riffs that weren't really cutting through that well, and I could hear the words even though it was a little bit muddy and muffled and stuff. But just such a time.
That's fun.
Yeah. Great couple of shows. It's been a great week. Well, great sort of, 2 ends of the week with just a freaking stressful week of this game release.
But the weekends were good.
Weekends were freaking great.
That's great.
I have more to talk about with something else that happened on the weekend, but that will be in the rec seg.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Ooh, yeah.
I saw half of a live production. My old school news. You'll find out why. My old school Newtown High did a production of Sweeney Todd, which was very cool. I feel like
awesome.
Our previous school would not do a production of Sweeney Todd.
Not Sweeney Todd. Hell no.
It was very cool. Newtown High is also a performing arts school, so they actually rented out like the costuming from the real one the costumes are very good. I don't know if they rented out the set as well, because the set was like because the way that production kind of operates is there is the pie shop, and then above that is the hairdressers, and that's kind of all that exists as set dressing. Everything just operates around it, and it's like the way the pie shop functioned and was able to swing and turn it. I'm like, that feels above and beyond for a school to create. So I wonder. I'm not too sure if they took that, but amazing. I
wouldn't put it past Newtown to have been able to do that, though, because there are some freaking creative people, both teachers and students. Like,
that's true. Oh yeah, knowing the woodwork teachers, one of them could have just done it as an afternoon project. But it was very, very good. But it was in St. George's Hall, which is attached to the school. It's owned by the school. There was no air conditioning in that building, being like 90 years old or something. And on Saturday when I saw it, it was 32 degrees. So halfway through, Mum and I were just sitting there, just a lather of sweat, and we're like, feel like we've enjoyed this enough to go now. It was very, very good. But yeah, I know what it is, and I'm glad to have seen the incredible performers, but it's kind of like, I've soaked it in, and I'm soaked, and I'm ready to go. I'm fine. But very, very good. I don't know what they're doing next, but if you're in the Sydney area and you want to see some High School Musicals, that's the one to check out. I don't think they'll do High School Musical as much as they would destroy it in the best way.
That's one that our old school did do.
They did do that. They did that. They did Oliver, Oliver is like the safe version of Sweeney Todd. It's like aesthetically it's all there, but no one gets put in a pie. So it's like, although, maybe that's implication. Maybe Oliver is a cannibal. Maybe he's just like, these oats, they taste like flesh. I need more. Maybe that was Charles' idea all along. People get put in pies. I guess spoilers for the production Sweeney Todd, but if you hadn't seen it by now.
Which you probably weren't aware of. I also haven't seen Sweeney Todd, so I have no idea.
It's great.
When you said that, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I feel like I've seen the ending.
Yeah.
And I do this.
Yeah, of course.
The film.
Yeah. And here's the other thing with musicals. The first two acts are generally the best, and then the third act, you're just like, okay, get on with it. Because musicals are so predictable, and it's what's so wonderful about them. But like the build-up is often better than the third act for a musical. So we also were at the point where we're like, that was good. The rest of the musicals just getting to the end, so we can leave.
Just super quickly, jumping back in chat, Milk says, massive congrats to Josh and the team. Thank you so much.
There you go.
Just wanted to acknowledge that shout out.
Yep.
Yes, it's been a bit of a week, a couple of weeks.
And it will continue because it's a game and they never go away.
That's right. There's still a lot to do, unfortunately, but where the game is out, which is at least good.
That's pretty good.
It works very well on the latest platforms and PC.
There's the selling point.
There you go.
And you know what else I hope is pretty good?
Yeah?
Cues from YOUSE. Welcome to Cues from YOUSE, the only segment on the internet.
Love it. Perfect.
The only one. This is the segment where you guys have submitted questions. We'll take some from the chat as well. Don't rapid fire them though, because we'll miss them. And they'll be gone forever.
That's right.
But I've gone through and grabbed as many. There are now 3 pages worth of questions, thanks to, I think the number went from 78 questions. I told people to do the thing. Now there's 110. So you guys threw in a couple more over the weekend.
Jeez. Well done.
We're going to try and get through as many as possible. Let's go. What are we going to do first? First, BMAC, who asked a long time ago when he was on one of these, how do you pass time on long car trips? Because you go long car trips. It's a good question.
Nice.
Generally, I feel like both of us are driving, so there's not much we could do.
It's true. For me to pass the time during those, I've driven to and from Sydney a couple of times.
Yep.
You have done that once recently to Melbourne and then back. about 9 months apart.
Yep.
From living here. But the way I did it was I listened to an audiobook one time, which was Ready Player One. It is 16 hours long.
Yep.
And the drive to and from Sydney is about 8 hours. So all the way up,
All the way down.
get about half of it done, all the way back.
All the way down.
Perfect. All the way down. Otherwise, podcasts. The one that I've done a lot with my parents is Hamish and Andy's podcast. So good. So much fun. You can jump in at any point in time. You don't have to know any of the in-jokes. They're just very good. It's freaking Hamish and Andy. Of course they are. Very, very fun. Another one I like is Do Go On. Mentioned them a few times. They just do reports on stuff, but they're a bunch of comedians, so it's very funny. They make jokes about everything that's going on, but it's also very factual and very historical, and you learn a whole bunch of stuff. It's really, really fun.
Yeah, cool.
If I'm not driving, and I'm not feeling sick, I generally playing games or reading. Reading comics. I read the entirety of Scott Pilgrim, that whole series, the 6 freaking manga-sized books. Read all of those in like a 4-hour trip one time, I think.
Yeah, wow.
And then video games. So like when I was a kid, it was Game Boy.
Yep.
Used to play Game Boy games all the time. And now it's Switch. It's pretty much it. That's how I pass the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, like listening to podcasts and stuff, especially the fun, factual ones and things like that. It's great for like discussion.
Yep.
Back and forth discussion if you're driving with people.
Yeah, nice.
Or I'll call people.
Yeah, right.
Just call and talk to friends and family.
Oh, that's horrible.
Just give them a call and have a chat for a while because it feels like it really passes the time. You're more focused on the conversation than
the driving. That sounds like the worst. Like, I'm sure it would be lovely, but just the idea of someone on like an 8-hour trip that's like, hey, I'm driving for 8 hours and I need to just have company, and the other person's like, fuck, man, like I've got things to do.
This is more like maybe a 1-hour trip.
Yeah, okay.
Like a long,
okay.
Just a singular long drive that's not, crossing the state border.
Yeah, that would suck.
Something like that. Yeah.
God. I've been on many a Discord call on the way back to Sydney. That's a cool one. A group of friends at a call could be fun. That could be a really fun way to do it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's cool.
I think I enjoy driving so much that I don't think I do much other than drive. Like even when I'm driving, if I'm driving here to work, sometimes I don't even put music on because I just enjoy the drive. So I think I'm pretty good with that. But generally it's like, it's just music. It's a score or it's a ballpark music is kind of the two things that go on when I'm driving. And I think you didn't really touch on it,
so
but
boobs?
Yeah, bit of boobs. Bit of boobs. Have to be in the mood for boobs though. I'm not always ready for boobs.
Ready for is the best way to say it.
Ready for boobs. But I think similar to you is that I don't really get car sickness from looking down or from concentrating on a thing. Like you mentioned games or reading comics and stuff. Like I don't really have that problem. So I think I'm the same of if it's a long trip or it's a trip to the mountains or something, I just open up Marvel Unlimited or something and just read a few comics. Always recommend it. I finally got rid of my DC one because I just don't use it. I was watching the fee come in. I'm like, God, go away. Dion says, I don't recommend porn while driving. Filming or watching? There's a cue for you.
Very good. Very good.
Next cue.
Let's carry it right along from Dion. This is one that I read last week. And if we did more questions last week, I would have jumped on this one.
Yep.
But this would be, I'm interested in what you're going to say for this.
Interesting.
There's one that I feel like you would say.
Yep.
But I'm curious because of the nature of what he's asking recommendations for.
Okay.
Can you recommend some light TV shows for nighttime viewing when it's too late to commit to a film and you don't have the mental space for anything heavy? He said, I've watched The Office. Sparks and Rec.
Okay.
Parks and Rec. And Brooklyn Nine-Nine too many times.
Yeah.
So he's watched the big ones, the main ones that people rewatch over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Do you have any recommendations for light watching?
Of course, along those lines is Arrested Development.
That's what I was expecting.
The easy one. Dolphin puts it, Kim's Convenience as well is a good one. Very easy watch, usually only about 25 minutes an ep. That's the Simu one. Really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arrested is great, especially if you already are rewatching things a lot. That is a show that thrives on a rewatch. You could just watch season 1 forever and you would be finding new jokes.
It's so good. It's so good. I've only seen like season 1 and maybe half of season 2 or something, but I do want to go back and do it.
Yeah, Arrested.
We're getting some recommendations. I didn't even think of this. We're going to get recommendations in the chat to help us out here.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
Which you already mentioned, but we've also got 30 Rock. That was a great show. Back in the day, I really enjoyed watching that. My friends were super into it back in high school. BMAX says DuckTales.
That's fair. That's a good pick.
Very, very good recommendation as well. I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, awesome.
Have you got any additional?
I would go for like animated things. I'd go for like The Simpsons, like a Family Guy if you're into that. Futurama is just a great series all around. So highly recommend Futurama.
Yep.
Yeah, probably going for the animated stuff. I find animation just so easy to watch.
Yeah. Dumb Days says Princess Peach is stringing Mario along. If you could get Mario out of that toxic relationship and pair him up with another character, who would you put him with? Mario with another character.
Wario.
Yeah, just another one of those guys.
Hell yeah.
So is he
sexiest beast in the Mario franchise?
Yeah. But he's not. Is he a Wario brother? Like, is he part of the family?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think he's another brother.
He just simps for Mario so hard that he's like taken the look and everything.
That's right.
That's pretty good. Wario's not related. There you go. Okay, you can bang him. Yeah, because this is what this is implying. If Mario could have a better relationship than he has with Princess Peach, I would say Princess Peach needs a better relationship than she has with Mario, because I think it's more like thinking about the grand scheme of the Mario universe. I don't think she's in another castle because she's like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, it's like getting distance from a dude that just won't stop going after her, is what I've always thought. Like, clearly, she's not getting captured. She's choosing this. She's just trying to get away from him.
Look at it. That's a really interesting. She's trying to get with Bowser.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you? God, amazing vocal talents.
Beast of a man. That's right.
I agree. She's not actually wanting him to rescue her. Exactly. She's trying to get away. So if anything,
that's so funny.
Mario should just be alone.
Cancel Mario, Joshy said.
Agreed. Mario's the toxic one.
That's it. I like it. That's an interesting way to go about it. No. Are we also talking with this? Since Dump Days is, I think, in the chat.
Yeah.
Is this another character from the franchise or just another character?
Yeah, I think it's just from gaming, I would assume.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's, I don't think it's specific.
For whatever reason, could Mario get with like Samus?
Yeah. No, Samus.
I guess Samus is in the universe because she's in
Super Smash.
Super Smash.
I wouldn't. Samus is too smart. If anything, again, I think Samus would get with Princess Peach. If anything, if we're partnering people up, I think that's where Samus is way too good for Mario. I think Mario should be with like one of the 9 different sword-based characters in Super Smash.
Milk said big guess saying Samus is straight.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way. There's no way. She's smart. That's just Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
we keep getting the same things like Dion and Jade both.
Everyone
straight up just being like
our community's a hive mind. Mario should be with Donkey Kong. I guess that was his first love. I guess that was his first pairing.
That's he was always trying to get to him. Oh, it was trying to get to Peach, essentially.
Yeah,
Peach was yeah.
But it's that thing. He didn't know
Or
what
was he trying to get to Donkey Kong?
The whole narrative of the Mario universe has been wrong this whole time.
There you go. Yeah. Donkey Kong was just playing hard to get by throwing the barrels.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go, everybody. We've solved this. Stump
There you
days.
go.
Thank you
Man.
so much for that question.
Things are happening. Things are happening on this stream.
Quick cue from you, Josh. Would you like to pick another one?
Ooh, that's a good one. Dion, back to Dion. I just got a PS5. Congratulations. I don't know how long ago this was, but
This is very
congratulations, Dion. Excellent. And have only played Nintendo games in the past 12 years.
Wow.
Jeez. All right. Here we go. What games do you think are essential to have played from the past 12 years?
So that puts us into 2011.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Uncharted.
Yeah.
Nathan
Yeah.
Drake
Well, yeah.
collection.
Absolutely.
Uncharted 4, Lost Legacy, if you want to jump in on that.
Play Naughty Dog's back catalogue. Skip
Yeah.
part 2.
Yeah. Ratchet and Clank games.
Yep. Yeah,
Ratchet and Clank 1 is great. Rift Apart is also great. The other ones are probably great. I don't know if they're available
Yeah.
to get.
Yeah, I don't know how far back they go. Definitely the one based on a movie and the PS5 one are very, very good. We're not into it, but yeah, Persona 5 from Lawcat is definitely one of the big ones for the PlayStation.
Yep. The Last of Us is probably also like just a lot of the Nintendo exclusives. Spider-Man,
The PlayStation
Miles
ones.
Morales.
You've played the Nintendo exclusives.
What did I say?
You
I
said the Nintendo exclusives.
I'm the worst.
Yeah. Play the big statue on the top of Josh's cupboard. Horizon.
Please. I was gonna let you talk for a bit, but you got to it.
Yeah.
Please. Play Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah.
They are phenomenal.
If you've only been playing Nintendo games, you've got the Guardians of the Galaxy game from Squeenix. Jump into that. That is the best.
It is very good.
I would say the best superhero game. It may not have as good mechanics as Spider-Man, but the story just blows it out of the water. So I think, for me at least, Guardians still is above the Spider games. GTA 5, I think you may have played it. 12 years may be long enough for you to have been able to play
Potentially.
GTA 5.
Yeah. It was I had it on Xbox 360.
Yeah. It was PS3.
So,
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
One I've got behind me is Deathloop. Phenomenal game.
Yeah, Deathloop.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
Like a great first-person shooter.
Yeah.
That just does time loops right. Came out around the same time as 12 Minutes, didn't it?
Yes. Yeah. It was the same year. It was that year. Yeah.
Yeah. But Deathloop is the one.
Absolutely.
Out of like almost any time loop game.
It's the only shooter we're going to suggest. Because we don't play shooters, but that is a brilliant shooter, at least at the first-person shooter.
100%.
Milk sang literally any of the Metal Gear games. Celeste from Dolphin Pants. He may have played it on Switch, but that's a good one too.
Yes.
Bloodborne, Demon's Souls. You've got so many. In the last
Arkham games are also great.
Yep. At least Arkham Knight. You may have played the other ones because they were fairly early in the PS3. Dreams, if you just want to never stop playing a game, because you can just play everyone else's games. I would love to know what Dreams is like now. Like I've seen so many projects across YouTube. I would love to know what it's like to search in their thing now. Is it just all incredible indie titles? Is there just games there now?
Yeah, 100%. That would be very, very cool.
Yeah.
Lawcat also said Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've only heard good things, and I think that's only like part one of however many they're going to do, because it's only a small chunk of the story, and they've added a whole bunch extra stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about that one. So yes,
yeah, good.
That would be the one that I would probably jump in on. That one or Final Fantasy 15, was that the last one?
Yeah,
the last new title.
Maybe again. Yeah. That's a franchise that I go, no, I'll never touch it. Art of Callum says No Man's Sky as well, which is a good pick if you haven't played that. Cool. Dolphin Bent says, if you can choose, or if you could give yourself any accent, what would you choose?
Ooh.
I think I would go Irish. Like, anytime someone Irish speaks, I just come. Irish all the way. Jeez. Everyone agrees in the chat. It is just the beautiful accent. I love Scottish accent, but it's like it's a little harsher.
It's harsh, isn't it? Yeah.
It's cute. It's harsh. It's cute in like an aggressive way, but it's like the Irish is like I feel soft. I feel like a hug when that happens.
Totally. Yeah. There was something like for some reason half the people working in like cafes and restaurants that I went to when I first moved to Melbourne, it was like everyone just had an Irish accent.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so lovely. I don't know what it was, but it just felt really nice.
Yeah.
So that was my first thought was also Irish. But I also love Italian. There's something about it. It's very cool. I've always loved it. I've always wanted to learn it ever since Assassin's Creed 2. It's great.
The best Italians.
That's right.
They speak Italian
the only
for,
Italians
for like 10 minutes and then give up.
That's it. 100%. They're the only Italians in video games. Don't let anyone tell you any different. And anyone that tries to correct me in chat is wrong.
It's true.
There's no other Italians in video games.
It's a me, Colin Farrell. Boston, if you want a bit blended. Yeah, okay. A little bit Irish, a little bit of Boston. That's fair. That's good. Don't want to change my accent because the main thing my ex and my current girlfriend say is the best, says Milk Please. I mean, I've met you. I would say it's your lovely face and then your accent.
Absolutely. Yeah. And your lovely personality.
Absolutely.
You're just a ball of sunshine.
Yeah.
We love you, Milk.
It's a shame you're in like the worst place in Australia. I'd rather learn their cooking. I assume that comes with the accent. If you're Italian, I assume it just comes with it.
I feel like you just automatically have to be good at making pasta.
Yeah, I think that's what the thing is because people don't understand that like ethnicities don't come with a set of skills. I think if you were speaking with an Italian accent, you would so consistently be forced to cook because people would assume you can, that you would have to learn to cook. Like that's what it would just, you don't get the skills, but people expect so much of you that you're forced into the skills and the hand gestures. I watched a great video of, I think he was Italian. He may have been Spanish, but they tied Spanish. They tied his hands behind his back and were like, speak. And he was just like convulsing unintentionally. And it was adorable. It was so lovely.
Good.
And
oh my gosh.
She's like, you've got to stop. You've just got to stop. And so then he spoke and then you could just see his head was moving. Like he just couldn't help it.
That's the best.
It's very sweet. Good question, Dolphin.
That's great.
Give me another one.
Yes.
Keep forgetting. So this is what we're doing. You're settling in.
I do. YouTube viewer, was this question really read live on a Twitch?
Dump Day says, how do you make a shopping list? Do you write as you think of it? It wasn't. Plan your meals out for the week. Organize it by type. Or... skipping it.
Very good. So very good. It took me a sec. I'm like, what?
I would have kept going, but I could see that Josh was confused. Otherwise, I would have let the bit sit. But I'm like, I just need to explain it so he doesn't think that I'm being rude.
I'm terrible.
I'll still read this one. You can pick another one.
Second drink.
Jesus Christ.
I can't open it.
The tea, it takes the strength. Dump Day says, how do you make a shopping list? Do you write stuff as you think of it? Plan your meals out for the week. Organize it by type, cold, fruit, veg, etc. First two are like an either or, and then the last bit is like, do you do this thing? I try to organize it by type, but shopping's like Woolworths and Coles and stuff, they don't do it as your brain would expect them to do it in terms of where the shop is laid out. Like you would organize cold stuff together, but the meat is over there and then the cheese is at the other end. So it's not worth it. I start doing that. And then as I think of things, they just are somewhere on the list and I just remember. But I'm not much of a, we need that thing. So I'll write it down now. It's definitely a, like, I'm going out, check everything and then write it down, I think.
I do a little bit of both that you just mentioned. So if there's something that I know that I will forget to buy, I will write it down.
That's good. Yeah.
So if it's, if it's not something that I generally would think about buying every week, like just general food for dinners and stuff, like if it's like toilet paper or a new bottle of hand soap or whatever, stuff like that. I don't like wasting food. So I often buy food depending on what I know I am doing that week.
Yep.
If I'm going out a whole bunch of nights, then I'm like, if I buy these sausages, then I can like have it for dinner tonight, but then I can just finish them off for lunches. And then I get like slightly more interesting lunches than the usual cheese sandwich that I have every day.
Yep.
Things like that.
Yeah, totally.
But in terms of the physical list, they just get thrown in. I don't care that much.
Yeah.
Generally, kind of the more-ish important stuff, which is generally food.
Yep.
Will go towards the top, and then the bottom will be like extra things: candy, chips, more Coke,
more of that. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, totally. I think it's always good to know what your week is like before you purchase your meals for the week, and it's good to plan ahead. I mean, the best thing is to always have some meat in the fridge, like that you can just cook at any opportunity. There's certainly things that last longer than 3 days, but yeah, totally. Like, look ahead. Dolphinbed says, I go through the Woolies website with the catalog and add it to my cart. Then when I go to the shops, open the website and remove shit from my cart as I grab it, which is an interesting way of doing it.
Interesting.
I guess that helps you know prices and stuff, but in my mind, that's an extra step than just writing the names of the things down. But if it helps
like
you,
the Notes app.
Yeah.
Do you use the Notes app?
No, I do.
On your phone?
Yeah. But Dolphin seems to use the website. Art of Callum says brain list. There's a fucking... My brain doesn't have room for a list. Come on,
That's
Callum.
dangerous.
Come on.
Whenever I do that, I always forget stuff. Even sometimes when I have a list, I forget stuff.
Yeah. I just skipped carrots.
Yeah, I look at it for ages and then I walk out of the shop with my bags. I'm like, crap, there was more on that list. I just walked out.
It's too late.
I think I just got bored of shopping and left.
Yeah, good. Good. Never shop hungry. That's a good one too. That's a very good tip. It's a very good tip.
That was something that my girlfriend and I did bad the other day. We walked out with a a caramel mousse cake.
See, but I still would expect that.
It's true.
There's still a part of it that's like, that was an accident?
Yeah, but we already had like dessert plans and we're like,
right.
That sounds better.
Oh, no.
So we did both.
Oh, dear.
It was great. It's great. All right, speaking of caramel, what is your go-to snack when gaming?
Ooh.
Do you have one?
Yeah. No, I don't really snack that often. But if I'm like, I want to eat something shit, it's usually a bag of Doritos and a little thing of sour cream. And just Doritos straight in sour cream, eat.
Doritos and sour cream?
It is the best.
Interesting.
It is the best. If you want to double that down, you go, you do Doritos and sour cream, but before you do that, you have like some form of chocolate. It's usually pineapple lumps, bit of chocolate, bit of that, amazing. Because they did Doritos chocolate for a while, and that was surprisingly delicious. So, I think Doritos and that, or it's a Red Rock lemon lime packet of chips. That's all.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm not a sweet boy.
I've never thought of Doritos and sour cream.
I mean, it's nachos.
It is nachos.
Yes. So it's the best part of nacho without doing the melted cheese. It's like it's the best bit of the nachos, which is the
and a cheese supreme nachos. Cheese supreme.
No,
Doritos?
it's always the normal whatever the plain green one is. Yeah. I hate any other nachos. I only ever get just flat out salty boys. I hate the cheese ones.
Yeah, right. I'm 50-50. Sometimes I will get the nacho cheese.
Yep.
Or cheese supreme, whichever one's the red one. I forget. And so 50% I'll grab that. 50% I'll just grab the original salted and just eat a pack of those for a couple of days.
Yeah. I remember.
Yes. Mine are probably also Doritos.
Yeah.
How
sad.
So good.
How sad that we fall to the gamer snack.
Totally. I also, living alone, like to just grab a tub of ice cream.
Yep.
Just have that sitting there and you just grab a spoon and just go for it. It's great. I'm currently eating a connoisseur butterscotch and gingerbread ice cream.
Jesus Christ.
That is in one. It is
amazing.
So freaking good. Seriously, it's incredible. Yeah, really good. I can recommend Caramilk mousse cakes. They're pretty good. I did sit down by myself and eat like another third of that one night while playing a game. They're pretty damn good.
Good.
I kind of just snack on anything. Like if I'm feeling like gummies, I'll eat some gummies. If I'm feeling like chocolate, I'll eat chocolate bars, blocks of chocolate, you know, a Kit Kat, whatever. Like I really just snack on junk food when I'm eating that. If not just like eating dinner, because I will sit down after work, play games, get up at like 9:30, heat up some food, and then sit down again and eat that food while playing games.
Yeah. Good.
That's pretty much it.
Mortis asks, would you take the gift of would you take the gift of immortality if offered? No. It is
absolutely not.
No. And you know what's crazy is that I feel like media, maybe since our birth, has never portrayed immortality in the way that it used to be portrayed. Because it's every piece of media I've watched that has come out since the 90s is just like, how shit is immortality? But then you go a little bit further back into high fantasy and it's like, immortality, wacky woo, it's great. And it's like, are we just all sad now? Like, after the 90s, we're just like, nah, that'd be shit, wouldn't it? Like,
yeah. Like they thought, feel like since the 90s, they've thought about it more and they're like, wow, a lot more could go wrong than we thought of. The first thing that I remember ever watching that had to do with immortality and the negatives was, Death Becomes Her.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So good. I loved that movie as a kid.
Yeah.
Watched it all the freaking time. It was one of the few VHSs that my nan had at her house. We basically just watched that or one of the 3 Mr. Bean tapes that existed. But yeah, Death Becomes Her, so good, so freaking funny. Yep. Or Mrs. Doubtfire was the other one at my nan's place.
A famous film about immortality.
But yes, I would not. It sounds awful in many ways.
Yeah, Milk Please it said exactly the one I was going to reference, which is Last Crusade, when they get to the knight who has immortality and he's just he can't leave because he only has immortality within guarding the Grail. And I think that was probably my first encounter with it. So I was always like, that's a bung deal if you have to be in that one place, otherwise you just die. And then, everything else is, I mean, the Captain Jack thing is kind of, for the most part, painted in a good light, but I think every now and then in Torchwood, it's very much like, he wishes he could die. And I mean, Doctor Who as well, it's that thing of, he can't have a normal life because everyone will die eventually. And I'm like,
everyone around you passes away.
Yeah.
And that's awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
To outlive every single person in your life forever.
Yeah. Nah.
Is awful.
Nah. Thank you, Immortus. Thank you, friend.
Thank you. Okay, Anonymous. The first sentence of this already gives me relating vibes.
Okay.
I have this is just anonymous. I have a serious case of imposter syndrome where I feel like people, it's slightly different, where I feel like people don't really like me. They just pretend to like me. Wow, this got a lot heavier than I thought. I was just talking about my work. Do you have any advice on how to help myself overcome these feelings? I'm interested to know what vibes you're getting from these people are, because I saw a comedian this week talking about his anxiety, and he was basically like, my brain is a really bad detective. It can take in all of the information, it can process it all, and it's like it knows it all factually, and then it comes to the complete wrong conclusion. It's like, I walk in a room of my friends who invited me there because they want me there and they want to hang out, and I'm like, they come give me a hug. They're like, bro, so glad to see you. Like, this is going to be such a good night. So glad you're here. All of this stuff. I get nothing but love from them.
Yeah.
And then in my head, I'm like, everybody hates me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel that for sure. Like, you can totally feel that. I get that in my job as well. Like, imposter syndrome, very, very commonly in a job.
Yeah.
Where I feel like everyone has it, but everyone's just faking that they don't. Because, you know, I've been doing some work at the moment, and I'm a programmer, and I feel like all the other programmers know way more than me, way more adept, but I'm just like tripping my way through the industry, pretending like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. But you probably aren't.
But yeah, potentially. Like, I would like to think not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is honestly really hard to overcome those feelings.
Yeah. Look, honestly, I would say there is no way to overcome those feelings. There's literally
fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I'm totally within the mind frame of the comedian and anonymous. Like, I assume everyone doesn't like me at all times. Like, no matter what happens, I'm like, yeah, but really, like, I don't trust you.
I guess because to me, I'm like, if I'm not thinking about myself, I'm like, man, so many people are so dearly loved by everyone around them. Yeah. Like, so genuinely loved. Yeah. Anonymous, I'm sure you have friends, family, people like that absolutely just adore you and want to be around you all the time. If you're invited to things, they want you there. It is tough to think otherwise. Because that's just how brains work. We always think the worst of ourselves, especially in this day and age, because social media exists and that's just messing everybody up. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, as a programmer who is part of the world that invented that, I'm sorry. But yeah, I genuinely think nearly every single person has somebody or a group of people that genuinely cares about them. So
to bring it back down to earth, Milk Place says we all have at least one dedicated hater.
That's right,
which is also
that's
true.
Fine. Yeah, one of the things that I found when I went to uni was, I'm a Christian. Not everyone is heaps keen to be friends with Christians. So I would make it known pretty early on that I am. In my head thinking, if this person doesn't like me, doesn't matter. I have a bunch of people, Christians and non-Christians, that love me for that. Yeah. For who I am, because they actually know who I am. If this person just wants to reject me, that's fine. Yeah. So that's where my mind is at. I think about the people that legitimately care about me. And if people don't, then I'm like, not worth my time. Yeah. Yeah. Because I have people that do. So what's the point in trying to make someone that instantly won't like me because they don't even know me? Yeah. Trying to make them like me. Yeah. So,
yeah. That's a good one.
Go. Give that a go.
Yeah. And my only one is just remember your brain is your worst enemy. So
it's the worst. It sucks. It sucks.
Trust it when it's being kind. Don't trust it when it's being mean, because it's probably just putting bad thoughts in your head. Yeah. Yeah.
And if it's being mean, if you have the opportunity at that point in time, do something that you like, just to give yourself a little bit of serotonin.
Yeah. Joshy asks if you could touch any physical object and your skin could take on the physical properties of that substance, what would you touch? Example, touch a marble granite floor, your skin now resembles marble. Movement isn't affected though. So you're just taking on the properties physically, but it's not like you're heavier or you can now not move because you're marble or whatever. That's a really good one, Joshy.
Ooh, what a question.
I would say this. This gummy texture that's on the front of these lights.
As soon as you pulled it up, I was like, I know what that is. Nice.
One of those.
Why? Just because it feels good?
Because if I'm stressed, I could just sit there going and just de-stress myself. Which I could currently do as well. There's enough there to have fun, but
It is
like
essentially a stress ball, isn't it?
yeah, I could
squishy rubber.
I could squidge myself. Like that's not a bad idea. I want to be something soft and huggable. Yeah, totally. You could be a soft toy.
Nice. Thank you, Viola Wint.
What about you, Josh?
Oh man. I think I would want to be something. I can't think of exactly what it would be, but I would want to be able to touch something before I go to a skate park where if I fall, I'm going to be fine.
Nice. Yeah.
Maybe that's a bit of rubber. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's like a rubbery thing, so I'm a little bit bouncy. Maybe
it's not changing the properties of you, so it could just be like a pillow. Like it could just be.
Yeah, true.
Like you're still as mobile as you were, I guess. Mm-hmm. So you could still perform everything.
Yeah, but I'd fall and just be like, poof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either that or like, I don't know, maybe the plastic or sort of the foam that like a helmet is made out of.
Mm-hmm.
So when you land, it's sort of like there's still impact there.
Yep.
Protects parts of the body.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it from a protection point of view. And that is the one place I am the most in danger.
So am I. I'm a living condom.
That's true. Amazing. Dolphin said, F that, I want to be made of gold.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just shave yourself and earn some money. Amazing.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Pretty good.
Your hair's just going to keep growing. Facial hair's going to keep growing.
Just cut it off.
Bit of shave. Yeah. Amazing.
Cool. Shall we do two more? Two more for the...
Let's do a couple more.
Yeah. I said that one.
You did. What is your earliest video gaming memory?
Oh, that's good.
This comes from Star of Pocket Pals Dump Days.
There he is.
Very good.
Fanfare. It's weird because I definitely had like a Game Boy or something first, but maybe I didn't. I think the first like actual gaming memory is going to a garage sale, getting a PS1, which had like probably the first ever F1 game and the first Gran Turismo game, and just sitting playing the two OG car games with Dad, and Need for Speed whatever was out as well. Like
of course they were all car games.
Yeah, they were all car games because I think the logic at 5 years old or whenever it was literally, I was like, well, Mum, if we get car games, I can play them with Dad, so it's like a good double deal. And I don't think that logic has ever changed. It's always been like, well, if we get the Top Gear DVDs, then it's like it's a good deal for Dad. And if we get the Lego cars, it's a good deal for Dad. Like it's always...
That's true.
It always works.
Yeah, nearly every year you get your dad like a different pop culture car and stuff like that. Like the Batman mobile and
both our collections. It's great.
66 mobile and stuff. Yeah, that's sick.
So definitely, PS1 with some OG car games for sure. Mm-hmm. What about you, Josh?
Yeah. Mine would be, I've talked about these games before when talking about my childhood, but I grew up on DOS games. I'm an old man. So probably like early 90s, like, 93, 94. I was playing Commander Keen. Mm-hmm. I was playing Captain Comic. Mm-hmm. I was playing Jill of the Jungle.
I remember
yeah, all those games. There was a Scrooge McDuck DuckTales game. Because I remember there's one part where you could go into his vault and you could make him dive off into the money.
Yeah.
Very I used to do that all the time. I found that really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was generally my go-to. Mm-hmm. My earliest memories, especially Commander Keen. That's just like something my parents and I, like my whole family, and some of my extended family who always were playing that too, just have never let go of. My cousin who, I can't remember if I mentioned this, but my cousin who is probably, I think he was 40 in 2020, 2021. Mm-hmm. He has special needs, so he's kind of more in the mindset of like a 6 or 7 year old, even though he's 40.
Yep.
He like I said, my entire extended family grew up on Commander Keen. He just wanted to know how to play Commander Keen, so I tried to help his dad. Make like a Steam account and get the Commander Keen games on there because they are available, but that just wasn't working, and my uncle is very technologically inept. He is by trade a blacksmith.
Amazing.
Like literally that is his job.
Good.
crazy. I've seen the man pick up a log that is literally on fire to move it in a fireplace.
Amazing.
His hands don't feel any.
Yeah.
Anyway, and at some point I mentioned to my mum or my uncle or something that there was a Commander King game on Nintendo Switch. So from that point on, he's like, I need to buy a Nintendo Switch. His 40th birthday rolled around. He got a whole bunch of cash. He's like, all I want is a Nintendo Switch. So I just said, like, they were like, oh, how do we do this? And I'm like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I got you. So I went out. I bought him a Switch Lite.
Yep.
I set it all up. I made them an account, gave them all the username and password and stuff. Bought Commander Keen, put it on there. I also bought him Mario All-Stars. So it had a whole bunch of other games because he's a big gamer. Like he has had most of the modern consoles. Well, as time has gone on, like he had a PS2, then he had a PS3 and stuff like that. And he played all the games. And then Nintendo games and stuff. So I was like, I bought him that for his 40th. I'm like, here's 3 of the best Mario games ever made. Like have that too, and just sent that up to them, and they transferred the money for me. So like Commander Keen is a huge part of my childhood and one of the things that I think of back then. Otherwise, it would be Crash Bandicoot, it would be Croc, it would be Pokemon. Other than that, they would be the next step after DOS games. The
good games.
Hell yeah.
The final one of the night before we head to the rec seg, Dolphin Pants. Do you have any controversial food opinions? This one comes back to what we were talking about earlier in the night. Here's his. Caramilk is gross.
Ooh, brother, why?
You're in the chat.
I'm intrigued. Why? Who was that?
Dolphin Pants.
Dolphin Pants. Why
let Josh
is
know.
caramilk gross?
It is gross. Say it, Dolphin.
Why? Tell me. Tell me why. No, like.
Here we go. What is it? What don't you like about a dolphin?
What don't you like?
They hated Dolphin for he spoke the truth. Oh, Milk is on the side.
Milk. You take that back, Dolphin, says Violet Wind.
There's a fight coming in there. Don't like the flavor.
I don't like the flavor.
But is it not just the two best chocolates? Like it's white chocolate, which is the best, and it's caramel, which is the best. It's like,
I don't know if I'd say white. Personally, white chocolate isn't the best, but I'd like it.
Milk chocolate is the worst flavor of chocolate.
I'm getting better.
Milk flavor is like baseline the worst type of chocolate. It is just the worst.
We disagree.
Does nothing for me.
But that's what our thing is about.
Our controversial one.
Each to their own.
There it is. Yeah, no, despise. That's one of my controversial ones potentially. Thank you, Lorcat. No, it's not controversial. It's correct. Reminder: cancel your binge if you finish watching The Last of Us. Thank you, BMac.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know if I can't think of anything. There's a poll in the chat at the moment, Caramel. I can't think of anything that I've said out loud which people disagreed with in terms of food things. Like I talk about, like I think all seafood is bad except for calamari. But I think when I say that, the people that don't like seafood are like, yes. And the people that like seafood are like, no. And it's like, okay, we both know where we stand.
Yeah. I would be that and just like deep fried fish, like fish.
That's not fish.
For fish and chips.
That's 20% fish. But yeah, I agree there. Totally.
Yeah.
But I always discount that because when I say calamari, I'm talking squid. Like I'm talking, like you can see the legs and everything. I don't like deep fried one, but
I like deep fried too. But yeah, salt and pepper squid, like squid and stuff from Chinese restaurants.
Yeah,
very good.
Because anything from a fish and chip shop is edible because it's 90% batter. Like it's
100%. It's
great.
So good. It's always so good. Yeah, interesting.
Pickles. I like pickles. I got no problem with pickles, says Milk, please.
Nah.
I like pickles.
Pickles is divisive. It's like, I feel like pickles is really a love or hate. You get the people that pick off the pickles on your cheeseburger at McDonald's, and then you get the people that grab those
and put them.
The people that grab those pickles out of your box, and they woof them down.
Yeah, they woof your pickle.
That's right.
I love pickles. I think pickles is one of those ones that in your adult years, either you grow to love it or you're just like, I still hate this thing. And I think I grew to love pickles. I definitely got there in the end.
I can tolerate pickles on my cheeseburger, but because I can easily take them off, I just do.
Yeah, right.
That's all.
Milk's a pickle grabber. Sorry, I just had to.
There you go.
Milk's a pickle grabber. There you go.
Caramilk. There was only 5 votes, but
it won. I guess
3 of them are good, 2 of them bad. So it's practically almost 50-50 anyway.
Yeah.
Not much different there, but there you go. What would be mine? I really liked the Vegemite Cadbury block.
Of course, your controversial one isn't that you hate something.
Yeah.
You can't hate it.
But whenever I say it, people are like, yeah. But they never tried it.
No.
It's just salted caramel. It's a little more salty. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't straight up Vegemite pudding.
No.
If you bite a piece of it, it oozed out like caramel. But it was just a little more salty.
Totally.
Tasted like caramel when you froze it. Exactly.
Yeah. Like, along with all those ones, like Doritos and stuff, the Vegemite one was the least interesting in terms of what happened to it. Like, every other one was, you could see flecks of biscuit or Dorito or whatever, like, and it tasted like, but yeah, Vegemite one was just like a saltier salted caramel. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But people like still just refuse to eat it. There was also, okay, so I've mentioned this I just clicked for some reason. I don't know why. In high school, we had this weird, like, one-off cooking class with Mr. Larson.
Oh, the goodie.
Best teacher at the school.
Didn't learn anything from him.
Nah, not at all. He was too attractive.
Yeah.
He used to be a chef, and so he was also a science teacher, so this was bizarre that he was putting on this thing. But he studied chefery and was going into being a chef before he was like, I don't like this, and then moved into science teaching.
Yep.
But yeah, he put on this one-off class where he wanted to teach the year 12s how to cook with like really basic ingredients that a university student would probably have in their cupboard already. Yeah. And it was all with the base of baked beans. So it was various meals, like a baked bean pizza. Yeah. It was a baked bean like taco. So instead of like normal beans or rice or whatever, I think you just have baked beans in it. And then there was the one that I chose, which I had to talk 2 other people into making with me. Otherwise, I did not have a group and I couldn't have made that thing, and I would have had to settle for one of the other 2. But no one else in the class made the thing that we had, and I swear ours was the best. It was called Boston beans.
Okay.
It was baked beans.
Yep.
Cut up some bacon. So you fry them up in a fry pan. Yep. Cut up some bacon. Fry that up as well. Maple syrup.
Wow. Of course, that's one you picked.
Really, really good. So it's kind of funny because now I'm thinking about it right now. On Boston beans, the best. Yes, thank you, Dion. So in Mythical Kitchen, Good Mythical Mornings, like side channel where it's just the chefs making stuff. Whenever they're adding like a tomatoey base, they add a little bit of sugar to like neutralize the acidity of the tomato, stuff like that. So that's essentially what it was.
That's the syrup.
But we probably added like, I wanted to be able to taste just at least a little bit of the maple syrup. So I probably added more than was necessary, but it was like, it just had that little bit of sweetness to it. So you get the like tomatoey, like acidic base. You get the salty bacon. You get
the limo out front. Oh, whoa. It's fine. People in chat will get it. Yeah.
Sure. You get the sugary like maple syrup.
Thanks, man.
And then you get kind of the what do you call it?
Thank you, chat.
Like the beans, the consistency of the beans. And it just works so well together.
Yeah.
I've never made it again.
Yeah.
But I think about it all the time. I need to make it. I need to actually make it.
Surely this is happening now in the next fortnight.
It really is. Now that I've talked about it this much, it's definitely going to happen, but it's very, very good.
Every style, every shoe, every color. Thank you, chat.
I'll send a recipe to make it from scratch. Thank you, Dion.
Good.
I appreciate that.
Nice.
Looking forward to that one.
Grow your own beans from scratch? Maple your own syrup? Good.
First, live in Canada.
Possum Beans coming to socials, absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Sweet. Well, thank you everybody for all your bits and pieces, all your questions specifically, but thank you for sending
Thanks for your bits.
Thanks for sending. Yeah.
We love your bits.
It has cheese bread on the top. There you go. That's an exciting one.
That sounds amazing.
Josh is very excited.
goodness.
You should stream this. You should just set up your camera somewhere with some audio. Thank you everyone for your cues from Muse. If you want some more, we've got more than enough for like another 50 of these podcasts. But if you want to send more, head into the Discord, head to hashtag AskEtto, that channel. There's a form there. Chuck them in there because we will read them out. I do my best not to spam those cues. Spam them all you want, Milk. It's time for Josh's favorite segment. It has no title card. It's the Rec Seg. Rec. It's the Rec Seg.
Perfect.
We'll watch things.
We did. I did this week.
Nice.
Actually did. I have a bit on my list. I have one watch.
Yeah.
And I have 4 play.
Wow. Good on you. Starting strong, buddy.
Amazing.
I have got quite a bit of watching. So do you want to give us your watching and then I'll talk for a while?
Yeah, let's do it. So last weekend I watched Cocaine Bear.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It was freaking great. Really good. Like, it's obviously, like, you can tell it's a parody horror movie.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Clearly. And it's actually, like, I legitimately really enjoyed it. It's intense. Some of the deaths are ridiculous.
Cool.
Like, they show you what I would say is potentially too much. But in terms of that,
yeah,
it did very good. It did it well. Like, there were points where Max and I just looked at each other and we were just like, I can't believe
sick.
They showed that.
The bear shows too much skin, Joshy says.
That's right. Yeah, too much. It looks like a freaking fun time with the perfect runtime. Yeah, it's good. I will say it felt like it went longer than it actually did.
Yeah, okay.
And I did not realize that Alden Ehrenreich was in it. Great.
Yeah, that's my one
Good
selling
stuff.
point, apart from the idea of the film Cocaine Bear.
Totally.
Which is already
and
enough.
The fact that the idea of Cocaine Bear is a true story.
Which, did I keep that screenshot? Like, this is peak Facebook keyboard warrior. I hope I kept the screenshot. Like, there was a thing with Elizabeth Banks, who's of course the director of the film. Maybe I deleted it, where she was like, Cocaine Bear is based on this thing, and it's based on a true story. To which John Tarrant wrote, actually, an autopsy of the bear revealed it ran for roughly 500 yards, then suffered immediate organ failure. The story is so nowhere near factual. No shit, John Tarrant.
Interesting.
Fuckwit.
Yeah, there is as I mentioned at the top of the podcast, there's an episode on the Cocaine Bear from years ago by Do Go On.
Yeah.
They cover the true story. And the actual bear is, I believe, on show in a museum.
Absolutely.
So you can go see the bear, the Cocaine Bear in real life, I think in the town.
They put a pole up his ass and used him as reference, like the Sonic movie. They just had him on set and just were running him around. That's not true.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. They should have.
Yeah.
They definitely should have. Yes.
That's your
So
one.
that was what I watched. Please talk at me, Will. Tell me everything. What you watched.
My one is another film that kind of came out recently that's a little bit like intense and has a very good runtime, but is a very flawed movie, which is 65, which is the Adam Driver dinosaur movie. It was at the third act, and I'm like, oh, this movie's almost over, and it is like just over 90 minutes, which is just like, not knowing that, it was the most warm feeling to be like, oh, this movie's over. Like, that's great. Like, this movie didn't stick around longer than it needed to be. Like, it was so nice that we went in at a 7:00 session and we left it like just before 9. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Like, I don't want more than that in a movie. Like,
I think I did that with Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
We
Yeah.
had like a 6:30 session or something, and then we were out by 8:30.
8:30, yeah.
And it was practically still light in Melbourne.
Yeah,
it was bizarre.
It was the same here. Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
So the premise of it, I don't want to say what it is because the premise is the worst thing about the movie, but it's also the best thing about the movie because this film has such an awesome premise that didn't need to be revealed until the third act. But because you know it from the very start, 10 minutes into it, it says 65, and then there's some title text underneath it, which explains the idea, the conceit of the film. If it didn't have that, you wouldn't need to know it. And it would be an awesome reveal at the very end of the film. There's like a beautiful credit, like the text is over footage, and that would tell you the cool thing about the movie. Without it,
Interesting.
I genuinely, like, without it, and then there's also just like a fuck ton of, it was obviously done, like there were test things for it and the audience didn't understand it. So instead of reworking it in a clever way, the studio were like, just say these words and reshoot these things and you can feel where things have been inserted to make it make sense more than it needs to. Because it's got a lovely like sci-fi vagueness like the Alien films have, but it's weighed down by a continuous like urge to be like, did you get it? It's this. It's like, fuck, man, leave me alone. I'm enjoying this. Genuinely, if you miss the first 15 minutes of the movie, really good. Unfortunately, that title card is still there, but 15 minutes in, I was like, this is the start of the movie. Right here. The other thing just ruined it. It was really bad. I went to see it with Zara, and I could tell she was loving it the whole way time. And like, she was like, that was the best movie I've ever seen. I'm like, can I just say what I think? And she's like, yes. And she like, it was... Usually I say that and she gets annoyed, but she was like, yeah, you're right. Like, generally I ruin films for Zara and she's annoyed with me, but this was like, for once, I was correct. I was going to recut the film. Honestly, I might when it comes out to show Dad, because I think Mum and Dad really wanted to see the movie. And I'm like, I think there's a better movie in here if I just pull some stuff out. If it's a 60-minute movie, it may be really good. 65 even. Yeah.
Nice.
Don't recommend it in the cinema.
I like Dolphin Pants' comment. If I haven't seen the first 64 films, will I understand the plot?
It's good.
Very good, Dolphin.
Very good.
I enjoyed that one. You would see me like a couple of minutes ago having a little giggle at that. Yeah.
Well, you might need to see the first two films in this other film that I saw. Creed 3, I saw on Sunday.
Very nice.
Loved it. I think definitely better than the second Creed, which is just the first Creed in like a very miserable way. It's like there's expanses in that story about like Adonis's family and stuff like that gets evolved, but the central like boxing element of that movie is to the point where I love the two scores. The pieces of music on the soundtrack are the same. Like the third act piece of music is literally copied and pasted across the two soundtracks. And so that doesn't tell you how similar the two movies are. It's still good. It's still good. Like it is still, all three of them are still better than any Rocky movie after the first and Rocky Balboa. But the second is a bit of a copy and paste. Whereas this one was really, really good. Michael B. Jordan directed his first ever film. And the motherfucker loves anime. The fights are anime fights. Like
no way, that's sick.
They're still like realistic in the way that it affects the body, but he punches them and like the ripples are so exaggerated and shown and then the third act fight is normal and then it isn't. And I could tell that's where Dad checked out because it was a little bit too weird, but it was like the guy just literally filmed a live action anime. And it is
pretty sick.
It is phenomenal. Like I hope I'm not spoiling it. I hope this is more of a drive that people will want to see it because like it still is incredibly predictable as Rocky films are. I mean, what do you think is going to happen by the end of them? But I think his visual flair that is the first time he's been able to show it lifts this one above just being more of the same. It's like it feels really, really cool.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, when I saw the trailer for it before Cocaine Bear, I was like, I would really like to watch all of them, just the whole series, like just from Rocky to Creed 3.
Yeah,
so I'm like, that would be. I feel like there would be like a cool full through line in those.
Oh, there is.
And I've heard nothing but good things, especially about Creed. And just quickly jumping back to the start of the podcast where I mentioned Bon Iver.
Yeah.
Milk Please was like, I know Bon Iver. They were on the Creed 2 soundtrack.
Yeah.
Now it's come back around.
There you go.
Yes.
No, definitely do it. I mean, there are some duds, but I think the shit Rocky films are pretty short because it's like mid-90s and stuff where it's and 80. It's like they weren't long movies anyway, so you'll get to the fight and at least enjoy that. But yeah, and again, I'm very surprised it's under 2 hours as well, the Creed 3, which is fucking amazing. Like, I'm glad
movies are going back to that. Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. And it's not that the movie's short, it's that it has a single plot. Like, there's a few things going on, but it doesn't try to do 9 things like so many movies have been trying to do in the last, 5 years. So love that. I won't speak on it much, but it's finally available to watch legally on streaming services. Actually, no, it's available to buy now. It's been on streaming for a bit. The Al Yankovic story is available to watch.
Nice.
I think it's Paramount Plus, and watch it. I thought I thought I knew what it was going to be, and it wasn't. Like, it was so far removed from the thing I was expecting, which was so surprising.
In a good way?
Maybe.
So you're just you're not sure
it's just
where you're at with it.
It's the title. It genuinely is weird. Like, okay. I don't think I've experienced a film like it in a long time. Like, it's not weird in the way everything everywhere is. Like, it's not expansive and crazy. It's just genuinely, like, constantly, what the fuck are you, like, what is this thing? Like, all the way through the credits, like, start to finish, it doesn't stop getting weirder. It's Weird Al in movie form. I disagree, because Weird Al isn't that funny. Like, his songs aren't that good. Like, they aren't. Like, they're funny in what he does, but they're not that clever, really. The film addresses that it's not that clever, that he's just changing lyrics in a song. So that's why I was more surprised. Like, I know he's like a very kooky dude, but it's funnier than he is as a person, because I've never thought much of Weird Al. Like, I like the idea of him, but I've always just been like, I can't listen to more than a second of one of his songs. They're so, like, grating and obnoxiously American. So that's why I was surprised. I enjoyed it. Time to remind people of Weird Al's cameo in the Andy Don Show. Exactly. And their podcast.
And the podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
Great stuff in the podcast. Very funny.
But yeah, give it a watch. I think it was Milk's and Dolphin's film of the year last year. I think it was probably high in BMAX as well. All people with reputable thoughts on films.
Nice.
Very quickly, Mandalorian episode 2, I think is probably in my top 3 episodes of the show compared to the first episode, which is like bottom tier of the show.
Sure.
So it's back in full force. Adored it. IGN gave it a 5 because it was too dark, when in actual fact, they literally had the wrong function on their TV. So it was just the brightness settings were fucked on their television. IGN, don't look at them.
I thought you were going to say like dark as in like it was too like moody and stuff. Just
that would be a good criticism.
Visually too dark.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Fucking idiots. Bad Batch is very good at the moment as well. The last couple episodes of that have been very good. And then the other thing that I've just started watching and just found out that season 2 drops in June, The Bear, which is on Disney Plus here in Australia. The Bear is about a guy that takes over his brother's sandwich shop in New York. His brother's just died, and so he's looking after that. It is my favorite show of last year. Like, it is undeniably the best show. I'm so annoyed I didn't get to watch it.
This really came out of nowhere.
The Bear. This is one of the shows I meant to watch last year. It was like I think it was on the top of Ben's list. It was on the top of so many lists, and I really wanted to watch it. And it is like. It is almost reality TV in how natural the dialogue is written. It's a comedy, but it's a very grounded comedy, similar to a lot of those. It takes to like episode 3 or 4 before you start laughing, because it's very tense and upfront in the first couple of episodes. But once you get into them and understand the characters, like Peacemaker, I guess as well, it's like you get to know them enough that you're like, oh, like this is funny now. Anyway, Hard agree. Hard recommend The Bear on Disney Plus. I also do want to talk about the Oscars, but I also want to let you I want you to talk, Josh. Talk about games.
I played a game called Descenders, which is a biking game. It's a like kind of mountain biking, like downhill biking game.
Yeah.
Like relatively realistic physics and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. I think Gus may have played this on Pocket.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. So my best mate, who is an American YouTuber who I actually don't know at all, for all the people watching that have jumped on for the first time here, Sam Tabor. He's a skater, he's a musician, and he's a gamer, all things that I am. So that's why I connect with him so much.
That's why you're friends.
That's right. He plays it at least once a week generally. But he plays on PC and downloads like modded maps all the time and stuff like that. They have a bunch of like, there's a company that does just like porting. So they just port, well, a guy or whatever. They port maps from other games into the game. So they just rip the map out and put it straight in. So he just keeps downloading various Skate 3 maps.
Amazing.
And biking them.
Sick.
It's very cool. So there's a lot of that sort of thing. There's some like Tony Hawk ones that he's thrown into.
Yep.
But they are just like the map ripped directly out and chucked into Descenders, which is cool. But it's very fun. It's pretty like technical and difficult.
Yep.
It's kind of like the newer like indie skating games, like your Skater XL or Sessions.
Yeah, right.
Where everything is like to do with the joysticks.
Yeah.
And you just have to like push them in the right direction and stuff like that. And physics matters. So if you land from too high a height, then you will die. So you have to like land correctly in a ramp from certain heights and stuff like that. There's quite a bit of sort of technique and stuff to it. And I am not good at it, but I played it for a few hours one night when I didn't want to jump into the other game because I was too tired and just wanted to just like chill out with something that wasn't blasting me with story and dialogue.
Yep.
And this was just perfect. So it was really cool after, a year of watching Sam Tabor play it.
Nice.
To actually jump in and play it for myself.
Yep.
So I enjoyed that. That was good fun. But the game that I played that is now my primary story game that I'll be playing for the next few weeks is Hi-Fi Rush.
Nice.
I actually got to it. It's very good. It's such a me game.
Yeah.
And I also understand why people would hate it. Because there is a lot of talking and a lot of very basic dialogue and jokes. But so much of it is just so me. Like I love it. Like just the music aspect. I love the design of the world. It's so poppy. I love how they make like even trees for some reason are moving in time with the music and everything.
Yeah,
like
totally.
It's a really cool design everywhere.
Yep.
I get less affected by grating dialogue, so it's fine for me. I don't care that much, but I totally get it.
Yeah.
Like Milk Please says I have to play it muted.
That's what I literally turned the voice option in the settings down. So I can still hear everything else, but I just turned it off so I don't have to hear anyone. Yeah.
100% understand.
Yeah.
I would love the universe to be explored in an animated series. It totally could. The design is so good. There's bits, so the sort of currency that you collect in the game is like gears and cogs. When you look at them, when you just stop and look at them like floating in the air, they look 100% 2D. Nearly everything in the game looks like it would be absolutely 2D. Yeah. And that if you went around them, they would keep exactly the same orientation.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't change at all. It would be sort of, they call it billboarding. It would be a flat thing. Yeah. And if you like move around, it will follow you like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Like original Doom style or Wolfenstein, where it was, you could tell it was a flat object that was just visually following you, but it's not like that. It's a 3D object, but somehow as you move around, it always looks 2D, but the perspective changes, and it's very, very cool. It's a cool effect.
Yeah, totally.
I really like that.
How deep are you into the game?
Not far. I think I just got through like the HQ. So basically not too far further than like the first boss.
Yep.
So like,
Yeah, nice.
An hour or two, maybe, probably just like a bit over an hour. But yeah, really, really enjoyed it so far. It's very fun.
Yeah, nice.
I bought this capture card.
Yeah.
Jabo Hi-Fi.
Jabba Hafa.
Jabba Hafa. And I was talking to the guy and I was like, hey, do you have this other thing in stock? And he was like, pretty sure we do. So he ran off. He was like, we do. Do you want this version or this version? And I was like, get me this version. He was like, all right, sweet.
The Justice League movie?
He thanked me so hard at the end. I was like, wow. Because I spent a lot of money in both of these purchases.
Nice. Sick.
I got a PSVR 2. I freaking pulled the damn trigger. I was there. I'm like, I want one anyway. Ridiculous.
Nice.
Ridiculous purchase. So the two versions were standard version or with Horizon. Of course. I was getting the Horizon version. Yeah. But either way, the cost without Horizon and the cost of buying Horizon digitally is identical. It didn't really matter. You don't get a disc, you get a download code. So fundamentally, no difference.
You're buying it and the game.
Yeah.
In the other version.
There's no discount for it. Yeah. Everyone's freaking out in chat. I'm crazy and holding out for an index at EB, but the PSVR 2 is very tempting. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
So today was the first, about 4:30, 5 o'clock maybe, was the first time I had the opportunity to try this.
Yeah, nice.
I bought this on Sunday.
Yeah.
But I did not have a chance until a couple of hours ago. Horizon did not download in time to be able to test this. So I bet this is the thing where I jumped on the store and just bought stuff. I bought like 4 other games.
Yeah, okay.
And Max was like, this is insane. I'm like, I just got this thing.
Yeah.
I need to not think about money right now and I just need to go for it.
Correct.
Yeah, play the Vader game, Vader VR game if you can. It's so good. I think
Tales of the
PSVR
Galaxy's
2.
Edge is the only Star Wars one so far.
And it's like $75.
It's like a 6-hour experience. It's very good. It's very good.
Yeah. I have no doubt that it is, but I'm not at this stage right now. Fair. I'm not ready for that.
That's fair.
I'm not ready to drop that. Yeah. I bought the kayak simulator game.
Yeah.
Purely just as like this will be an easy thing to chuck people into that won't be like too much.
Yeah.
And they'll just be able to sort of experience it.
Yeah.
There's some cool stuff like if you run into something, the haptics on it like vibrate on your head and the controller and stuff. And it's kind of cool because you can push off stuff with the oar. So like if you get close to something, it's very nice. So that's one of the ones that I played. I played 2 games out of the 5 that I got. One of them was free. It was like Cucumber World War or something. It's some stupid game. I watched the trailer, but it was totally free. So I'm like, I'm gonna grab it.
Grab that cuke.
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I got Job Simulator.
Yeah, nice.
Because that just looks like a whole bunch of fun. And I feel like that's another game that you can just chuck people into and they can have a fun time. And sorry, my girlfriend is currently watching and she corrected me. Cacti. It was not cucumber. It was cacti war something.
Got closer at least.
Yeah. And the other one that I did play, yeah, those are the ones. The first one that I got to play was What the Bat.
Good. Yeah, nice.
So the What the Golf sequel, if anyone is aware of What the Golf, it's so good. It's exactly what you think. It's so much fun.
Good.
So I played the first couple of like chapters, I guess, of that, and then chucked it at my girlfriend. She had a blast. She literally almost hit the TV because she was walking around a lot and was doing this. And she was like, the TV was like here. Yeah. Her hand was doing this. Like
Amazing.
over the front of it.
Yeah,
and I was like, stop, please take a few steps back. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And she took a few steps back. It was very, very funny.
Imagine if she did. I like that you needed to clarify. And she said, no, fuck you. I'm going to punch the TV if I want to.
100%. Yeah, I think I'm going to go comment on that in a couple of seconds. But yes, it's a lot of fun. It's exactly what you expect.
You said that What the Golf got a little bit tired. Do you feel like being in VR, this might have a longer lasting gag?
Perhaps purely because of the shorter periods of time you can sit in it. I particularly in Kayak VR, I felt a little sick. I don't know whether it's because it's a little more indie or what, or whether I didn't have it calibrated quite right.
Yeah.
But when I came out of it, I had to just sit down with a glass of water.
I mean, that's when you should have just been seated.
I was sitting.
Yeah, right. So you sat even further down.
Yeah, like I just had to take it off and just sit down and just chill. I don't know whether it was just like too blurry or what.
Yeah.
I had it like too tight on my head or something. Maybe. Like it was just, there was a few potential few factors. Potential few factors.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel great after playing Kayak VR, but I felt pretty damn fine after the What the Bat game. It's not just like hitting stuff either. There was a section where like early on where I needed to like there was a cube floating and you look down and there's like a box with a cube shape in it.
Yeah.
So it's like the kid's toy where you have to like put the shapes in.
Yeah.
Like the shapes in the right way. And so you have to, with two bats, you have both of your hands are bats. You have to pick up a cube.
That's right.
Which has physics. So if you hold it too far back, it like flops down.
Yeah.
And is no longer, going to fit in the space properly. And like goes in all weird freaking angles. You got to try and like put it in this thing. And then the next one is like a star.
Yeah.
And then the next one is an actual fish that has like fish physics.
Good.
And you have to put that in a box with a fish shape in it.
Yeah.
And then Max played, she was standing in front of a mirror and there was like toothpaste on the edge of the bench, the sink, and she could like hit it and toothpaste would just spurt out. And so we eventually worked out that you have to hold one bat in front of it.
Yeah.
You have to smack the toothpaste to get the toothpaste to hit the other bat, and then you have to brush your teeth in the mirror.
Good.
It's really dumb. But yeah, it's freaking great. Next time you're down, I will chuck you in some of the PSVR 2 games.
That's sick.
Really, really cool. So super stoked, really excited to play the other ones.
Yeah.
The other one in the list as I was going through, and I'm like, I have to buy this. I have to buy this. And I got to the bottom, and one of the last ones, I think the second last one in the list was VR Skater. Or Skater VR, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, no
but
choice.
It's not out yet.
Yeah.
So I have some time. It's been announced, but it hasn't actually come out yet.
Well, that's all the recs. If you want to watch some things in the coming week, though, I've got the TOE-VEE guide for that.
TOE-VEE guide.
The first thing, though, isn't something that you watch. And I don't know if you're aware of what this is, so I actually prepped a clip for it. But the first thing, which comes out tomorrow, or today, at the time of you listening to this, people tomorrow, this is a game called Mile High Taxi. Have you heard of this?
No.
I'm so excited for this video game. It looks so retro. It's only on PC, but it's kind of Crazy Taxi cross that other game that we both liked. What was it?
Yeah, I know the one. Yeah. It was all pixel stuff.
It looks super retro, but super like polished as well.
It does. Yeah. Oh, that looks intense.
It looks so fun.
It's ridiculous.
But yes, that's very exciting. That is out at the time of this podcast being out. Then on Wednesday, the 15th of March, both on binge, Superman and Lois season 3 kicks off, and alongside it, everyone's favorite DC show, Gotham Knights season 1, the only season, I'm sure, also starts on Wednesday. On Thursday, the 16th of March, Shadow and Bone season 2 drops on Netflix, alongside Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Shazam. Is that this week?
It's in cinemas on Thursday.
Jeez.
Yes,
Alright.
that's right.
Cool.
I'm definitely checking it out. I think we're going to see it with Sam on Thursday. So get keen.
Nice.
I hope it's good. I hope, despite everything, it's good. I don't know if I have much faith, but I would like it to be good.
Yeah, it's the one DC film that we've been hanging out for. It's the one that we have enjoyed in the past.
I know Bedazzle. I know it's projected to bomb, and that's why they're starting to spoil it in trailers. But I don't want it. I want it to be good. I want it to be good. And then on Friday, a bunch of games drops. Excuse me. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon, which is that beautiful, like, painterly storybook Bayonetta game, drops on Switch. Pepper World Adventures, which is, of course, the sequel to one of the best games that we played last year. It drops on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and PC. This time, Pepper goes to London, Paris, Australia, other countries.
Wow.
And also in the world of video games, WWE 2K23 drops for PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC. I thought the WWE game came out in like December. I swear there was one very recently, but apparently not.
Right.
This one has John Cena as like the protagonist of whatever game exists within this, alongside The Rock and fucking Dave Bautista. There's a bunch of named ones that we care about, which is very exciting. It was this time last year. Okay, they always have this slot. Just proves how quickly the years are going by. And then I assume this is this year's The Sea Monster or whatever that animated film was, but The Magician's Elephant drops on Friday on Netflix, which is an animated movie. And I'm talking about this purely for the bio, which is, as per usual, a terrible bio from Netflix. The orphan boy, Peter, sets out to find his missing sister. He asks a fortune teller if she is still alive. She advises him to find a magician with an elephant. Peter must then complete 3 difficult tasks. That doesn't inspire me watch the movie, you fucking idiot.
Not at all. That sounds terrible.
But that's The Magician's Elephant if you want to watch it. It's out on Friday.
There you go.
Maybe don't watch it. Did you find the game?
I cannot find it.
Oh my God.
I've gone through my entire list and I can't find it. We need to find it before we finish this.
Yeah, I'm going to look at
2.5 hour podcast.
Oh, it's cutting down to 1 hour 15, baby.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Let's see. Where's live streams? Because that's where it will live. I'm going to find it.
We apologize to any questions that get cut out of the thing.
Cloudpunk, everybody. Cloudpunk is the game.
Cloudpunk. How did I miss that?
I had to find our live stream of it, so it wasn't on my. It'll be on my Steam somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, the one
right there.
There you go.
Damn it!
It's just not the name that we were looking for.
Disappointed in myself. Yeah,
that one was Super Blade Runner. This one's definitely Daylight and complete. It's a very different vibe, but it's similar gameplay wise.
Yes.
Helped by forgetting to submit questions again. Jade, throw one in. We'll talk about it next week. That's what we do here.
Check them in.
We talk about things next week, and if you want to see the things we talk about next week, you're going to have to head to etto.card.co. That's 2 R's in the card. Follow us on all the things across the internet. If you so much pressure, no pressure. You saw some of the questions this week. I had to cut them. That's the joke. They were all great. They were all great. There was the one about the cum, and one about the. It's all getting cut.
If anything, it was the ones that we didn't answer particularly entertainingly.
Yeah, we were the problems.
Get cut.
We were the problem.
Yeah, that's right.
I've had a great idea for a question now. Because the cum, or as you said, the question.
Question.
The question. Send us your questions in our Patreon, in our Discord, but to get there, head to patreon.com/each of their own. Give us dollars, get in the Discord, give us your cues, and we'll answer them for YOUSE. Is there anything else we need to say, Josh?
I think that's it. I think we're done. We were going to play
I don't
Dead
know if
Island
it will.
this week, but absolutely not.
No.
I'm so tired and I need to pee.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody who's in the stream right now. Josh and I are going to go stream elsewhere, so we've got ahead.
Great.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Yeah, don't, says Dog Pants, who is the only person who approves our content. So if he doesn't want to see it, no one needs to see it. We'll be back next week with, obviously, the catch-up, but next Monday we'll be back finishing Dead Island. Maybe we'll do a couple of side quests or something to fill out the stream, but it'll all finish next week. Thank you, everybody. Until the next time, I have been Will.
I've been Josh.
And now say enough that I can set us up to be able to leave. And people in chat, give us some recs of who we should raid. Thank you, everybody. Good night.